Yo guys, what is up and welcome back to another video. Today we're not going to play any games. We're actually just going to have a look at the Command & Conquer Remastered Collection. Some stats and figures, we'll do some rough calculations, very vague calculations, but we're going to get like a ballpark idea of how well we think the Command & Conquer Remastered Collection did. Now you're probably thinking, why are we looking at this? Well, the reason we're looking at this is because, like any business, if this made money for EA games, if it made loads and loads of money, then they're more likely to look at doing other remasters in the future, whether it be Red Alert 2 or one of the other Command & Conquer games. So, obviously, if it made a loss, or if it didn't make very much money, or it didn't get much traction, or it didn't get many positive reviews, which we can also see here, then there's less likely, less of a chance that there's going to be another remaster game in the future. So that's what we're going to look at here today. Some of these stats and figures are from like third-party websites. Don't know how well they can be trusted, but we're going to go through them all anyway, and you can give me your take. Maybe you've got some more knowledge or another website you want to look at, and feel free to comment on this video. Okay, so first of all, this is probably the best website that I found. So this one's called steamdb.info, and you can get on here. Obviously, this game was on Steam. You can get on here some stats and figures about the game. So one of the things that I find most interesting that kind of validated some of this data for me is actually this graph here, which is the lifetime concurrent players. So when the C&C Remastered Collection got released, I think it was in, it says June the 5th there. Was it really June the 5th? Was it that long ago? It's crazy. It must have been June. Yeah, it was June the 5th, man. This lockdown has made time go real fast for me. Because I remember checking on the actual official Steam site, I think it was. Got to be the official Steam site. I remember checking on day one when the game first launched, and it had 42,000 players, and that pretty much is bang on there. So I can see there if I hover my cursor over. Then, as you would expect with any game, it gets released, most players play it, and then it kind of tails off. It's probably the first time I'm looking at one of these graphs, but yeah, I didn't realize it tailed off so fast. Maybe I was expecting it to be more like of a curve going down like that, following my cursor, but it took a dive pretty much straight away. Probably because of all the hype that it got at the beginning. I think they did a real good job, and putting it on Steam, probably a good move as well. So yeah, 42,000 players. So we know at least 42,587 players were playing it on day one, and I assume that's unique players, so we know 42,000 people bought the game. So that kind of validated it for me straight away. You can see like on day two, actually, it dropped by 10k. So yeah, significantly dropped. And then all the way to today, we're on like 1,700-ish. And you can imagine that's probably going to dip even further. And then I actually found this post here by official C&C. So if you go on this post here, which is from Twitter, sorry, not this one, this one. It's actually a comparison of all the C&C games, and you can see which is the most popular, who's playing what. So Tiberium Dawn, the remastered collection, only 19 people playing that not right now, as is a few days ago, and I don't know what time they took this snapshot from. So 0 out over here, you can see 172, and up at the top left, 2k. So yeah, that just gives you an idea of how active the games are right now. But onto the topic of this video, we want to work out how much money the EA games make from this. The reason I looked at that first was just to kind of validate this data was kind of correct. 927 players online right now. Today's the 9th of September, in the middle of the day. So down here, right, owner estimations. How many games have they sold of the C&C Remastered? So it's not officially released anywhere, so there are only estimations, and there's one by Steam Spy. So this is not the website that I'm on now. I'm on steamdb.info right now, and there's also some estimations by Play Tracker. Now these are quite different. Like that one there is more than 4 times greater than their max, and this is 3 times less than their lowest amount. So what we can do here, we'll probably work out 3 calculations. We'll work out on a worst case scenario. Let's say they sold 330,000 copies, which seems about right. Maybe. I mean, if you had almost 43,000 players playing on the first day alone, you can imagine different people are going to play it the same day at the second day. It's not going to be all the same people, is it? Like at least 20,000 people are probably going to be different unique players the next day, and a couple of people will be buying it a little bit later on and whatever. So that seems definitely feasible to me. That seems probably also doable. These ones here, I mean, it's quite generic and quite vague. 1 to 2 million. It's quite a lot. We can also look at positive reviews, so that's like kind of official, because that's actually from the Steam store data. So we know there's at least 13,000 reviews. I work in travel and tourism, and I also work like with reviews of hotels and stuff like that as well. and we have like a return rate of reviews of something like 5 or 6% or something like that. So maybe we could even do a calculation. Actually, if we bring the calculator on now, we could probably even do a calculation just to try and see. So if we do like 13,440, and if we divide that by 6, this is assuming that it's the same as like in my business, and then we times by 100. So that would give, if they get in the gaming industry only around a 5 or 6% percentage uptake as well, 224,000. So that leads me to think that this one by Play Tracker is probably a lot more accurate, being 330,000 or 450,000. I think we're probably most accurate going with that, or somewhere in the middle. I don't think that's. I mean, I don't know, but I don't think this 1 to 2 million, man. I don't think that is. I don't think that is. Oh, I see. It's to say there based on reviews, so they have got an algorithm like I was trying to work out. So I mean, I reckon this number here, 330,000, is probably more accurate. Okay, so let's start with some calculations then. Right, we're going to clear all of this. Right, the game on the Steam store right now is, in my money, £17.99. That's English pounds. So let's call it £18. And if we do it by the most recent calculation, so if we've got like £18, we're going to do it at the moment. Also, over the last couple of days, the US dollar has been 1.34 to the pound. So we're going to call it $24. I mean, if you look at today's rate compared to a few days ago, the rate for 1.34 does fluctuate a little bit. So it depends when you're looking. So I mean, I'm going to go with $24. The game has been sold for $24. That's not taking into account any Steam sales they may have had or may not have had. I haven't seen any. It doesn't also take into account any keys they gave away, because I saw they did give away at least a few keys. They offered me one after I even bought the game, for example. So we're going to go with $24 for the game. So we're going to type in 24. Right, we're going to work with this number and go with a worst case scenario of 330,000. So if we go with multiplied by 330,000, so it comes to 7.920. So basically almost $8 million that they've made. Sorry, in revenue that Steam has taken, because people are going to be taking various cuts here, which we're going to come on to in a second. It's not quite as straightforward as just they've made that much money. And also you've got to remember the money they've invested into it as well. So we're talking almost 8 million or $7.9 million now, yeah? Okay, if we scroll back up, you'll see, well, first of all, the game's on Steam. Now, I've been reading online a lot about Steam takes, if you put a game on Steam, as standard, Steam will always take 30%. Now, that doesn't include any special deals that EA Games or any other massive companies might have with EA Games. So maybe if you're a massive company and you don't really need Steam, you would do an agreement with them. Again, just from my experience in business and stuff, you do deals that you might sign NDAs. You might not say what percentage. They might take 20%. They might take 30%. They might even, I don't know, if they don't like you, they might take 35%, or they might take 5% if they really like you. So we're going to go with the Steam standard as 30%. We're going to assume EA Games doesn't have any special deal. So we're going to say that Steam is going to take 30% off this number. So what we're going to do there is going to multiply by 0.7, so that'll give us 70% left, yeah? So we've got $5.5 and $44,000, sorry, $5.5 million left in the pot that EA Games would have received. But it looks to me like EA Games didn't develop or make the game. Petroglyph did, Petroglyph Studios, and also I think there was Lemon Sky or Lemon something involved in this as well. So then I've been looking at what kind of percentages the publishers take. Now, the most common answer that I could find was that publishers take 60%. I'm not really bothered about how much the Petroglyph are making and Lemon Sky. I had to look at a few of their games. I'm not really bothered if they make loads of money or not. All I care about is EA Games, because they've got the rights to Command & Conquer as far as I understand. And if we're going to see another remaster in the future, then it's EA Games we care about. So, right, EA Games publishers normally, from what I've been reading online, this may change by country or whatever, but normally the most common answer I'm finding online is 60% publishers take. So that means the developer or the developers, Petroglyph and Lemon Sky, took 40%. Let's work with that. Again, we're working very vague, and you may or may not know more information than me. We're going to go with this number here then, and we need to reduce it down to 60%, because EA Games is going to take 60%. So we're going to multiply again by 0.6 to work out what 60% of that number is. So EA Games took in revenue 3.326. So the bit that I probably need help with you guys here is that 3.326. So let's assume that 40% of that number that we just worked out before. Sorry, I'm confusing everyone here. Let's assume that well, the thing is that pure profit, or have they paid Petroglyph and Lemon Sky a little bit more than that? Have they paid up an initial front fee and then Petroglyph took 40% from that? Or was it always in the agreement, you don't get any money now until the game's released and you get 40% of all the sales? But I'm going to assume probably that is the profit that EA Games has made from this remaster. Of course, you've got to probably take from that any marketing as well. I'm going to assume that EA Games did that. Any keys they gave away from that as well. Plus any other expenses. I mean, I'm not in the gaming industry. I don't know. I don't fully know. But it looks to me like they probably did make some money from this. Give or take $3 million, something like that. Yeah, it just depends. Did they give any money to the developers up front? Did they invest in it, and did they have to claw back some money? So you could say, like, I don't know, $2 to $3 million is probably what they made, and that's based on this conservative estimate, by the way, of 330,000. I mean, you can do the same calculation if you want to do it for that amount. Just take a little bit off. Again, it's going to be probably close to 3 million. But I suppose let's do the calculation again, but this time we'll do it for that number there. So I think the quick way we can actually we won't do it the quick way. We'll just do it. Right, we're going to go again with $24. We're going to multiply by 450,000 this time. So this is the upper bracket of what Play Tracker said. So 1, 2, 3. So that's 10.8. And we're saying Steam is taking 30%. So that leaves 70%. And then we're going to say that the developer, Petroglyph, is taking another 40% from that. So we're going to multiply that by 0.6 to get the 60% remaining. So that, I mean, that could, so they've made anything between $2 to $4.5 million. That's the most accurate that I can think of. I don't think this Steam Spy is accurate to us. I mean, they've just put a vague 1 to 2 million. They haven't even, like, do you know what I mean? That just seems so vague. They have no idea. We're just going to estimate between 1 and 2 million, or maybe they work on such massive numbers. Usually they're talking like 96 million or 500 million copies sold, if that's even possible for a game. But maybe they're working on such a big scale that I just don't have a feeling that's accurate at all. So I'm not even going to bother working that out. But you've got the calculations. You could work that out if you wanted to. Again, this is a very vague calculation, but according to my calculations, they've made $2 or $3 million. That's what I think. And is that enough to spur on more Command & Conquer games in the future? Well, to be honest, again, I don't really know how much game companies make profit-wise from games normally. But if it made $2 or $3 million, that's still a lot of money to me and you, and it still made the money at the end of the day. So are we likely to see more? I think so, yes. And the way I reckon we can at least urge them on or whatever is let's make as much noise on social media as possible. If you want to see more remasters, whether it be of Zero Hour or whether it be another Red Alert game or whatever in the future, I think we need to, rather than do a petition, because I've been looking into that recently as well, rather than doing a petition where you have to sign up and give your full name and your correct address and all that kind of stuff, why do we want to give these petition companies our names and addresses and stuff like that? Rather than do that, I thought about, let's start a campaign, and the start of the campaign will at least to be follow the Command & Conquer people on Twitter. So I recommend following these official C&Cs. This is the EA Games official Command & Conquer channel. So they've already got 16,000 followers. So follow them, and every time we're streaming a video of Zero Hour or another Command & Conquer game or whatever, hashtag it. Put it on Twitter. Say, a DoMiNaToR or Google or someone is streaming Command & Conquer right now. Hashtag it Command & Conquer. Hashtag it Generals. Hashtag it Zero Hour. And at these guys, at official C&C. Because trust me, if their social media team or their marketing team or the developers or whatever are active on this, which they seem pretty active, they're like 3rd of September there. Okay, 6th of August. But they do respond, and they're getting quite a lot of likes and stuff, and they do retweet the occasional thing. But trust me, if they're seeing 0 Hour being streamed to 600 people every single day or every single week, and they keep getting at it and they keep noticing it every single day, it's in their mind, then trust me, they're going to notice it, and it's going to be more at the forefront of their mind. They're going to think, okay, we made $3 million from that last remaster game. Maybe there's a massive following for 0 Hour at the moment. Maybe we should make a 0 Hour. Maybe we should make a 0 Hour too, since the community is so massive. So yeah, I recommend following them on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter as well. I'll be doing it as well. DoMiNaToR UK, DoMiNaToR UK 2. And I will be doing that as well. Even if you don't want to tweet them directly, just retweet what I'm doing or like what I'm doing and whatever. And we can make as much noise as possible. Again, there's the stats from that. This was another website, by the way. This is the actual SteamSpy.com website, and it just says they're down at 1 to 2 million owners. I mean, yeah, you can work out if you want, if you think it sold 1 to 2 million copies. I personally don't think so. Here's where it says Lemon Sky Studios, by the way, so I don't know if the split is even different like that. But as I said, it was very vague, just to give you a rough idea of how much it made. Let me know what you think. GG, and I'll see you in the next one.